Substance abuse is relevant to us because it is a struggle for not only our families but our community. So we wanted to make this video to promote awareness of risk factors and expose the dangers of tobacco and alcohol use in the Asian American community. To find out more about this issue, we interviewed Tim Vu, program specialist at the Vietnamese Association of Illinois, and went to the Asian Health Coalition of Illinois to interview Mandy Labrach, program specialist Mimi Wang, program manager of the Substance Abuse Program, and Heidi Goetz, program coordinator of the Substance Abuse Program.
We also described our own experience dealing with family and friends who struggle with drug and alcohol abuse and why we have chosen to remain substance-free. We hope you enjoy our documentary.
No, I think with this population in Chinatown, I think the lack of communication from families, like from parents, about problems of underage drinking with their child, or setting guidelines about, regarding alcohol use or cigarette use. I think that lack of communication is a risk factor. I think also just there's some cultural influences, like, a lot of the parents who come here who've immigrated to Chinatown, they came from countries where the legal drinking age is 18. So, and that's very different. So a lot of the community members may not know that the legal drinking age is 21 years old.
I mean, I know in some cultures, like, they're big drinking cultures, like in Korea, they drink a lot, it's kind of like they work hard, they play hard, so after work it's kind of a common practice. You go out and you have a good time, you drink a lot, and that's kind of just like, even like the business culture there.
And I know there's a Chinese saying that says, don't go home until you feel happy, where if you keep drinking and drinking, you're not happy, you drink until you get happy, which means you get really drunk.
And then also, if you look at like smoking rates, like tobacco use, in a lot of Asian countries, the numbers are really, really high, especially among men. So I've seen in some countries like China and Vietnam, it's like more than 75% of the male population is smoking. So definitely I think they'll bring those same behaviors and habits if they come here.
Yeah, my dad is a very frequent smoker. So he's been smoking since he was 18, and he hasn't stopped, and he's tried like things but it doesn't really work. He's too addicted. But I mean, he knows the effects of like smoking. He can't stop it. And I probably have secondhand smoking from him, but
Yeah, like, I went to a doctor for a checkup once because I had a cold, and she like did a checkup on me for like 2 minutes, and then she asked my mom, am I smoking? And my mom was like, no, she does not. And the doctor was like, are you sure? And like, I'm guessing that it's because all the secondhand smoke I'm getting from my dad, because he smokes a lot. I tried hiding his cigarettes, and like, I would wake up in the middle of the night and he's like looking underneath my bed.
And I think that concerning substance abuse with the Asian community, it's very taboo. It's looked at as if it's, if someone does need treatment or does abuse alcohol, usually they stay in-house and don't speak about it. They just communicate with their family, if anything, but they don't really seek professional treatment, just lack of resources. Not only that, the stigma of Asian communities, we don't really reach out to anyone, and it's really shameful when you do need help and you're disgracing your family, your last name.
Yeah, it's just basically there's a lot of differences between the parents and the child and the way they were brought up due to like differences in Western and Eastern culture, and a lot of times issues like substance abuse aren't being discussed because the parents aren't familiar with the issues that are going on and the pressures that these kids are facing in their schools and with their peers, and so it's really just a gap of communication where it's a little more than you would see in a typical neighborhood, I think.
I have a friend who started smoking like in 6th grade, and he was like, I'm gonna try to stop, and he said that so many times, but never succeeded. And I asked him, like, why did you start smoking? He was like, I don't know, it was like the new thing back then. I was young, but then now I'm hooked, and it's like really hard to stop.
Yeah, I think, for us just to even promote the awareness that underage drinking is a problem in the community.
And just that there's health issues, not just
Right.
legal ramifications of
Right.
their use, is really surprising to a lot of people that we
Right.
talk to.
It's not healthy for you to wake up in the morning and not remember what you did the night before. It's also not healthy for you to continue drinking. Your liver will have issues and problems, your heart, your memory, your relationships. You mentioned you were late for work for 3 times due to alcohol.
The freshman year in my health class, one of the topics we covered was about substance abuse, and we watched this video, and there was this one particular girl that they interviewed, and they did a scan of her brain because she started drinking at a really young age, and they had a picture of it before and after just drinking like a couple of months, like her brain structure changed. It shows that your reaction time slows, and your attitude changes, your personality shifts without you realizing it.
Well, so KSAP is the Coalition for Asian Substance Abuse Prevention, and it was started in 2007, and it's basically a way to have the community's voice be heard in every single step of this program, like from deciding on the implementation strategies, like the prevention efforts, to making sure that all the things that we do fit within that community.
Programs like what we have here, we basically collaborate with different Asian community-based organizations and different community treatment providers, because the biggest barriers are usually related to culture and language. So especially depending on how acculturated people are, how long they've been living in Chicago, kind of depends on how familiar they are with and how comfortable they are speaking English, and also kind of some of like mainstream like healthcare can be intimidating to access, especially if you don't speak English, or maybe you don't know how to get there, or if you have to have a translator come with you every time. So we really try to focus on having the services provided in their native language.
Last year we made history in the city of Chicago. New York did it as well, but in the city of Chicago we were the first, a bunch of us, so Cambodia, us, Chinese American Service League, a bunch of different Asian ethnic groups, community-based organizations, worked with the Asian Health Coalition of Illinois, collaborated C4 the counselors, and then we were the first group to actually provide service for possible substance abuse and screenings. So that was great, being a part of history and helping the Asian community in Chicago seeking assistance in substance abuse.
So actually our strategy is to really go, it is to talk about underage drinking, but really it's to focus on families and strengthening family bonds, and we believe that that is one very effective way is to increase communication between parent and child, so that they can feel they can talk about these issues, and but yeah, I think for us that's our main focus, just because families are so important in Asian families, Asian in the Asian population being such a collectivist culture, that using a family as a way to help prevent underage drinking is effective.
It looks stupid.
It looks very dumb because my teacher says them seeing us smoke is like
us looking at a 10-year-old.
yeah,
smoking.
us seeing a 10-year-old smoking. So it's very ridiculous. It's kind of pathetic. It's not cool, and it's not attractive. It's a big turn off, I think.
I just think there's so many other different things that can kind of like distract you from doing that, especially like with youth nowadays. There's just so many different kind of like extracurricular activities that you can do that can kind of stray you away from underage drinking or smoking. But it's definitely a very difficult thing to do, especially if you grow up in a family and people are drinking and people are smoking.
We found ways where we don't even need money sometimes. So you can always enjoy each other's company. Going to the beach, you don't have to smoke there. You can just enjoy the weather. You can watch movies. You don't have to smoke. Smoking, how is that even fun? When you're smoking in a crowd, you're there and smoking. It's not like you're doing anything, and it's harming your health. You don't gain anything from it. So
it's kind of hard to call out your friends when you don't want to make a big scene about it. But sometimes it's a serious issue, and we keep our mouths shut. And it takes a lot for someone to just express their concern. And I just say stand out because it's worth it. I think my friend passed away on my birthday, and she had some substance abuse issues, and we all knew it, but we didn't really talk to her about it. And I regret not talking to her, and she committed suicide. But yeah, things like that you don't think until it happens. Something really drastic happens. So I can only think about what I could have done. So if you're in high school and you could possibly do all you can, then I would say do it. For me and for people other than like me.
I don't know, just be strong. Like, stick to what you believe. Like,
be yourself.
Don't let other people shape you. Because in the end, it's your life. They're shaping you, but then they're not taking the consequences for it. You are. So.